gun to his head when his brother walked in and caught him, saved his life. He went to work the next day, made a complaint to the company, to John Anderson, that he was having mental issues, and he believed that it was being caused by the delivering fuel. John Anderson actually gave him a better job, a higher paying job, put him in the tank farm, and he worked there from that point forward. After we found fuel, my fuel being tainted with witnesses, literally when he just got by the tank and was inspecting it, just the smell alone overtook him, and he stumbled backward and was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And then he went up on my porch, and from the furnace stack up on the roof, literally causing a little bit of a coming over the eave of the roof, you could smell it on the porch, and it would make you dizzy. And then you go inside the house, and the first thing he said was, "Wow, it feels like there's less oxygen in your home, and it's making my stomach sick, and I don't feel good. I'd like to get out." So that's when we got more serious about what the heck is going on here. I started noticing all these empty homes around town and going, "What's going on? Why are these houses all damaged by frozen pipes and snow damage on the roofs?" When it's a no-brainer in our community that if you leave your home, you leave your furnace on to 50, 60 degrees, or you hire somebody to come and shovel the snow off your roof. It's just common operations in our community of Valdez, where we can get anywhere from 3 to 12 feet of snow in town. So I'll just start out with one of the homes with the person who sustained cancer. This is John Strang. His wife was the superintendent or the principal of the elementary school. She got cancer. She was living on Alaska Court, 1503. Of course, the house sat around for quite some time without being put on the market. Another home that sat around for a long time that I don't have marked is this 1560 home. And it was empty for a couple years. This is interesting. This is Will Stark, the bank manager's house here at 1500. Literally, there would be two homes on his street that sat empty for a number of years that should have raised a pretty big red flag for a guy who should be helping the bank make loans for people buying homes. But in this case, it appears that they were doing just fine because they were putting out these loans for this pool investment program. So if you go through the town, this is Fiddlehead Lane up off of Blueberry Hill Road. There were two homes that people died of cancers. This would be the 629. This was Rose Fong's home. This was the wife of Bill Bixby, the guy who walked away with all the money from the Exxon Valdez oil spill. The house has been basically empty with a yoga instructor living in the downstairs bedroom for 4 or 5 years now. This house here on 652 on Fiddlehead Lane, same thing. Husband died of cancer. The wife and woman was, who knows, she was off traveling around the world. I want to buy this house, and Alice McDonald showed it to me, and it struck me that over the last, say, 15 years, I've walked into many homes with Alice McDonald, and the one thing they all had in common was they all had their pipes frozen, and they all had water damage and sustained some sort of damage from the elements.
Is this one anything here?
This one is just suspicious. It's Jerry Melberg's home. He literally committed suicide, supposedly, but he was my son's best friend's grandfather. The guy had MS. He was amazing. He literally was in a wheelchair, but he would literally crawl out of his wheelchair off into the woods and help build the kids survival forts and teach them how to do carving and different things. The guy was incredible. He was in the hospital, and this is somebody very close to my family, very close to my children. He was in the hospital for a number of days after he supposedly ingested sleeping pills to kill himself. The weird thing was, my neighbor, Sheldon Melberg, never told me. I never got the chance to go over and visit Jerry in the hospital. My wife, Karen, never told me. I was finally told when he was on his last few minutes, that Jerry was passing and that had been unconscious for a number of hours and was dying. Um, I went by the hospital and found out he was already deceased. It was just really strange that somebody that was so close to my family, my children, that Sheldon Melberg and my wife, or Mary Melberg, never called me to go check on him, to go to the hospital and be by his side when he was in the hospital. So then, as you go through the community, I've marked all these, or I had the fuel delivery guy mark all these homes.
There.
And let's see. So this was Randy Mogg. He was actually one of the top guys at Petrostar, the oil refinery in town. He lived on let's see, what is this? Pacific Avenue. It was 615 Pacific Avenue. He died of cancer. And let's see. We go over here to my community where I live. This is Robin Chafin, Mrs. Chafin. They were delivering anywhere from 30 to 60 gallons to her. She ended up having psychological issues. She ended up running herself over at the local gas station. If it's not a psychological situation, it's literally a cancer or leukemia situation that these toxins were causing people to get sick. This gentleman here, I can't think of his name. He's on, he's on 815. Where am I? Oh, I'm off. This is 71706. This is Robin Chafin's house. He was getting delivered that fuel. This is my house, 714, where the fuel was tainted. This gentleman here went through a horrendously horrible divorce with a young FLD person who stole his wife after they went through all kinds of neurological issues and situations.
They lost a boy.
Their son committed suicide. This is a normal operation. This isn't how this should go for people that work really hard, have great jobs and great, beautiful families. Literally a 30-year-old running off with almost a 50-year-old woman who's an FLDS person. His son committing suicide. This man just so confused about what happened, doesn't even realize what's going on around him. Over here was the McKinley family. This was my children's babysitter.
804 Cottonwood Drive.
Yeah, they went through so many neurological, psychological issues. The wife was amazing, awesome, beautiful woman, smart, nice, had beautiful children. Everything seemed to be perfect in their life. And the McKinleys just got destroyed. Next thing you know, she's running around town like a crazy woman. The father's a super hardworking guy. At the end of his 35-year career with GCI, the local big television company in the state of Alaska. I knew these